All right, let's go ahead and get started. So our agenda for this quick lunch and learn is to just give you a little bit more information about Focus St. Louis and the Women in Leadership program. We will tell you who the ideal candidate for this opportunity is, and then I'll get to introduce you to four special guests that I have invited that will tell you about their experience. And then I'll open up the floor for some Q&A. I will preferably just like toss it back over to our guest panelists for them to respond. Unless it's something around logistics or administrative, then myself and the team will respond to those questions specifically, and then we'll tell you what the next steps are. So we don't plan to hold you too long, but expect to be on at least 30 or 40 minutes to learn more about the program, and then ask questions and get all of the information that you need to have. Something that you need to know about women in leadership is we were founded in 1981. And why is that important? Because 40 plus years later, we are still going strong and growing strong. This program, for which I'm a graduate of, I'm class 52. We are recruiting for class 83. This is what cohort you would be, 83. And it is really open to women who are either early in their career, mid-career, or C-suite individuals who are looking to level up, who are looking to grow, expand not only their leadership and skill set, but really build a community of other like-minded women who are interested in being the change makers or the catalyst for change in our region. And part of what we are able to do in the program is that it's a 3.5-month experience. There's 7 program days. Three of those days are what we call field days. So it's kind of focused around a particular sector. We meet on Thursdays, and then the seminar days are on Saturdays, are more of that self-reflective kind of focus for you to really grow and develop the skill sets that will enhance your ability to lead wherever you live, learn, work, play, and worship. Okay. Something else that's important for you to know is that although I have all of these bullets, all of you are the ideal candidate. Why? Because you're interested in your leadership, you want to make an impact, and wherever you are on your career journey, this is an opportunity for you. And I have receipts to back that up, and that's when we get to the panel. You'll be able to hear from individuals who have just completed the program and what this experience has meant for them and how they've been able to grow and soar in ways that maybe they didn't expect or maybe they did expect, but that we build a community that creates brave space and gives the topics and the content and the opportunity for engagement, not only with the cohort members, but with other guest speakers that we bring that are regional impact leaders in our community. All right. Here's the schedule. Maybe you're wondering, well, what is the commitment? And maybe some of you have visited our website and looked at our Women in Leadership page, but here's this just so that you see it, and we're happy to drop that in the chat for you so that you can link to it. Part of this commitment is not checking the box to say that you did it. It really is being present. And if you look over the schedule and you realize, I might have a couple of conflicts in the spring, well, guess what? We offer a fall cohort as well. And so if the spring is not the best time for you because of your schedule or just that the special life events coming up, then fall is always an opportunity. And guess what? Erin reminded us not long ago in a team meeting that we need to give her the schedule for 27, 28. So we are already like a year or two out with the schedule. So if you're like, I don't know if this is the right time, reach out to myself, Madeline, and Erin, and we're happy to talk with you about the schedule and other times where it might be more suitable for you and just what you're trying to, what your goals are. Okay. So what do we want to talk about? I want to get into impact and panel. I'm queuing you up because I think after this slide, we're almost ready to get you into the conversation because that's where the real rich information comes. But the impact of this program is what's listed here. It is a deeper understanding first of yourself and then the civic landscape of the St. Louis region. In this program, you do have unmatched exposure to key civic, business, and community leaders who happen to identify as female, right? And this program helps you to enhance your skill set. I don't know any job place currently who is not talking about collaboration, communication, making better decisions, knowing how to facilitate the difficult or hard conversations that need to be had. You as an individual need to know how to negotiate your worth in the marketplace. And we really need to think more strategically about how we're thinking and the strategy that we're applying to our work as leaders. And for us, all of us who've been through this program know leadership is not about the title you hold, it is about the influence that you're able to make. And so that's something that we really talk about and focus on in the program as well, that whatever seat you're in, is where you lead from, whether that's up, down, or, across to your peers. The other thing that is unique about Focus St. Louis and our Women in Leadership program is once you graduate, you are graduating into an alumni base that is 11,000 plus strong. About 80% of our alums are still in this region, and so that means you have access to them. So literally, it is a phone call, an email, or a LinkedIn connection away, whether that's from myself directly or someone else on the Focus team. And so that's the reason why I wanted Erin to be here and Madeline to be here, because those two individuals assist me and the other leaders on our team in making sure that our alumni are connected, not only to us, but connected to the other leaders that are making a change and making the difference in our region. And then finally, I should have brought the percentage, but the percentage is pretty high, up in the 90%. Actually, for our flagship program, it was 100% that individuals that graduate from our program feel a stronger sense of personal commitment and responsibility to the region. Why is that important? Because your influence matters, and it's not just in the workplace, but it is in the community. And what makes Focus different than other leadership experiences is that our leadership is through the lens of civic education and impact. And in the Women in Leadership program, that shows up by those women that we invite on our field days, and our cohort gets to interview them, talk with them, have conversations so that we understand what is the impact of their leadership and what was their leadership journey, and how might their wisdom help others lead and make the same kind of impact, if not surpass their kind of impact. All right, so I'm getting to the good part. We're going to have Madeline spotlight everyone, but before we do that, I'm going to just make quick introductions. Also in our program, we have relationships with our participants and our community, and so we use first names. So that's how I'm going to introduce everyone. So welcome to the stage, Thasina, Patty, Sharifa, and Rose, who are all recent graduates of our program. And they are going to be the individuals who respond to a couple of questions that I've asked them about their experience. And so, Patty, since I see you first, why don't you say hello? Tell us
Hi.
maybe, 20, 30 seconds about yourself, and we'll let everyone do introductions, and then I'll jump into kind of like my interview style questions, so that everyone gets a chance to get to know you and hear about your experience.
Sure. So, hi, everybody. My name is Patty, and I'm a mom, I'm a grandma, I'm a wife of 35 years, a worker bee, and I am so excited to talk to everybody about this wonderful program and why you should do it.
Awesome. Tessina, why don't you go next? I see you next on my screen.
Happy Wednesday, you guys. My name is Thasina Adams. I am a mom, a godmom. I am a pillar in the community, and I would love to tell you about my experience with Will. I am one of the Will 81 graduates, so I will be able to tell you all of the interesting things and fun things that we did in Will in order to empower me as a leader.
Awesome. Sharifa, let's hear from you.
Good morning. Oh, it's good afternoon now. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sharifa Sims Williams, and like Patty, I am a mom, wife, and grandmother. And are we supposed to talk about our professional or just
You decide how you want to
I
introduce
just threw it all
yourself.
out
okay?
there.
I said, yeah, and well, you saw it on the slide. I'm director of strategic communications with St. Louis Community College, and again, joined these young ladies in the last of the Will 81 class. Had a phenomenal experience. Met so many great people. Well, we can talk about that as we get into the conversation. But it was an experience that I would recommend to anyone. But
Awesome.
thank you for having me.
We're glad you're here. And Rose, let's hear from our last panelist, and then I'll get into some questions. Please give us a quick introduction. Tell us who you are, Rose.
Hi, everybody. I'm Rose Winter Johnson. I am a mom, and I have been with City for 30 years. I have a little bit of a different experience than others. So I am a graduate of the City Will Cohort 2, and just graduated here in 2025. So my cohort is actually was built within City. So I attended with coworkers per se, right? So a little bit of a different experience, but it was still a great experience. Wouldn't pass it up for anything. So again, I've been with City for about 32 years, but just excited to share my experience with you guys.
Awesome. And here's something. She said that she was in a cohort inside her company. I want you to know that this experience, yes, is an opportunity for all women to join our focus cohorts. But if you have a company and there's more women who are interested in creating a custom program that's similar, let me know. Put something in the chat, DM me later. And so I wanted you to understand that this opportunity kind of is a little bit flexible in that we can build something custom for a particular company as well. So I'm going to get off my sales pitch and move it into questions. So here is my first question to my panelists. Tell us why you chose to apply to the program. Patty, I'm going to start with you and then I'll mix it up next time. But Patty, let's go right to you. Why did
Yeah,
you
sure.
choose to apply?
So, I heard about the program from my prior employer. She had recommended that I check it out, just to try to help strengthen my leadership, confidence, etc. So when she first recommended it, I didn't know much about focus. I knew nothing about focus. So then I, like everybody here, started doing my research. I'm like, oh, maybe this is something that I need to do, and I that's why I applied, was based on that recommendation, and I'm glad that I did.
Great. Why don't I go to Rose? Tell us why you decided to apply for the program, because although it was custom, there still was an application and
Absolutely.
selection process through City. So tell us why you decided to apply for the program.
Absolutely. Well, I had a coworker that I knew she went into some type of program. I knew nothing about Will. Let's just bring that up. I knew nothing about Will, nothing about Focus. I had a coworker that I knew she was into some program, didn't know what it was specifically about, but every time she came out of there, she was just bright and she's cheery and she's like, "Oh my God, this is so awesome." And I'm like, "What are you talking about? What is this about? I want in, let me in." So she shared the information, and actually, Shayla and I met at a different event. Prior to me joining Will. And so I got to meet Shayla before that. And once I met Shayla, I'm like, I'm in. I'm all in. So it was because of my coworker, that when I saw her coming out of these sessions all bright and cheery, and she's like, oh my gosh, it's so deep. It's so, just fulfilling, and so I was like, I want some of that. I want that too. So that really, she sold me. My coworker sold me and Shayla when I met her at the different event as well.
100%.
Thank you. Fasina.
Um, so the reason why I applied for Will was because I am so used to leading from the back, and I
Mm,
wanted to start leading from the front.
mm,
So when I applied, I didn't know anything about Focus. I hadn't heard anything about Focus. I came to a meeting just like this, and I heard all of the testimonies from Wheel 80 and Wheel 79. And I was
mm,
thinking, oh, I want to do this. And after I applied and got in, leading from the front is so easy for me now. I feel
mm.
empowered. My confidence level has soared. Um, Yeah, so if any of you are leading from the back and you would love to start leading from the front, I really recommend you applying to this program because it will help you do all the things that you're looking to do.
Awesome. Thank you. All right, Sharifa, what about you?
Unlike our other panelists, I was familiar with Will and I was familiar with Focus. I've known several people who have gone through the programs and actually thought about it a few times over the years, but for whatever reason, just kept putting it off. And so one of the things for me personally and professionally is that I wanted to learn more about myself and how I can, as the said, lead from the front. Just from the nature of my job, a lot of times I am in the background or behind the scenes. But the one thing about this program, which I learned from different people and just doing my research, is that you lead from where you are. And so I always felt like I had some things that I could share. You know how you sit in a meeting or you go to a conference or something and you're like, I already know that. I can do that. And so it was really helping me be able to speak those things out loud and say those things in a role where I could make change. And so with I felt this was an opportunity for me to kind of build on that, to bring those things out, and like Christina and Patty said, kind of help get that extra confidence in what you already have, and help bring that out to help benefit your organizations, your families, whatever group you might be working with. So that was my reason for doing it.
Thank you for sharing that. I'm looking down so I can look at my next question that I want you to respond to. What surprised you most? You know, now you look back, you've gone through the program, you've had the experience, and all of you are still active. So that's another thing. Like, there is a community that is built within the cohort, and all of these women are actively engaged with their cohort and doing some other things. But what surprised you most? And I'm going to go back to Thasina. I'm going to start with you this time. What surprised you most about your will experience that maybe was unexpected?
Oh, that's a good question. Let me tell you why. What surprised me the most was the fact that it was 35 of us in our cohort. And when I say the connection that we had amongst us was unbelievable to me. That was one of my surprises. My other surprise was the fact that when we came into our sessions, I think all of us we were leaning in, we were understanding, there was no judgment. We allowed each other to have the space that we needed to learn. That was a big surprise because with 35 women, a lot of times you think, oh, this is just going to be a mess. It was not. We learned from each other. We came from different sectors, but even though I may not be in nonprofit, I still learned from my Will sisters that was in nonprofit. And I'm sure from Wells Fargo where I work, they learned some things from me too. So it was so many surprises that I experienced in my cohort that I probably wouldn't have enough time to explain it. But if you get into a cohort, if you lean in and you accept everybody for who they are, you all are going to form connections that I don't think you will ever form in any other way. So those were some of my surprises.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Patty, why don't you tell us
Oh,
about what surprised you most?
I think I'm glad I'm glad you asked this question because the thing that surprised me the most is we all have the same fear. You
Mm,
don't speak it, you don't know it,
mm,
but whenever you really get to know everybody in our cohort, we all felt like imposter syndrome. We all thought that we weren't good enough. We all didn't have the confidence. Even though nobody said the same thing, everybody felt the same way that I did, and I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything. So I was really surprised by just learning that all of the things that I felt, the fear, the lack of confidence, just the imposter syndrome, everybody was experiencing the same thing and that it was okay to
mm,
be my authentic self. And I think that that was truly the biggest surprise is that I really did feel empowered after every single meeting. Like, man, it just energized you to just like you can't even 100,000% like energy level. It was just very, very surprising about that.
Thank you. Sharifa, tell me tell the audience what surprised you most about the Will experience.
I think I had one expectation when I went in, but the thing that surprised me is that, well, if you study management and you study leadership, you know, you have your theories, and so at one point I thought that that's what it was going to be, like an extension of that. And there was some of that in there, but it really focused on you as the individual. And you think it might be difficult with 35 people in the room, but it kind of, we all had those commonalities that we were all trying to work on and deal with. And it's things that you normally don't address in a group or don't address as women in the workplace. And so the Will experience gave you the opportunity to talk about those things and do it in a judgment-free zone, and in a zone that, you know, really was supportive, because as you know, we talked about some things that they weren't always work related, but they affected how you work. And we had people that had issues that came up, but we all wrapped our arms around them and helped support them, and that helped them make their accomplishments and achieve things in their field. So it was, for me, it was like you focused on those things that were more personal, but also help you become a better leader and manager, or just employ a professional in your career. And I think sometimes that gets left out when you're talking about developing leadership, and you need to address those things and learn how to manage those personal things that help you be a better leader in the workplace. So I think that was the biggest surprise for me.
Okay, thank you for sharing. Rose, why don't you tell us what was the biggest surprise for you? And also, you were like, I talked to someone, I saw some things, and even you, maybe your expectation was even higher, right? Like, I'm coming into this and I better get something good because I'm missing what I'm supposed to be doing, right? Tell us, tell us what surprised you. I'm making some stuff up, right? Like, she
No,
did not
you're
say
right.
that, but I'm like, I think she had a different expectation. So like, for me, maybe I had like the bar was even raised even higher for me, because she's like, yeah, I'm expecting something. So tell us what surprised you.
Well, I did. I had that expectation higher because again, I saw my coworker coming out and just, so beaming and everything. So I was like, all right, I'm ready for this, But I still, you still kind of keep your expectations at a level. But I guess my expectation to the surprise for me is that just how deep that we are allowed to go. You go to, so I've been to so many like leadership trainings, and it's just surface level. It just touches, the top. It doesn't really go deep into it. And especially from women in leadership, right? So, just the surprise were really just how deep we were allowed to go internally, and not just from a professional perspective, but a personal level as well. A lot of leadership training doesn't talk about personal. You're not supposed to be, a human, a woman, in dealing with your everyday life as well. They only talk about the professional level, not on the personal level. Well, we deal with a personal level with Will, and with your cohorts, and you have that support and that leadership to help you through those times, and you continue to have that support even after the cohort is over. So that was probably my biggest surprise. I mean, again, I knew I was going to come out with the beaming face and all of that excitement, but just how deep we were able to get into the level of support, and again, not just professional but also personal.
Okay. Thank you for sharing that aspect of your experience. When you think about, and I know there's maybe more than one, right? And I'm not tooting my horn, I'm tooting the horn of the women who are doing the work, because you've just heard that this is so much more than the typical leadership experience. It is about addressing the leader from within, because when I do my internal personal work, then wherever I go and however I lead, when I change and things are shifted, it shifts how I am externally in work and at home and in community. So I want to ask each of you to tell me, like, what is one of your biggest takeaways? Like when you're like, oh, because we close every time with an aha, like what's your aha for the day? And so when you now put all of those collectively, what's one aha that you feel comfortable sharing with the group who's listening? And Rose, I'm going to start back with you to tell us your aha moment.
My big aha moment, and it may not just be that big, but it really is just be your true authentic self. I mean, it truly is just that. I mean, it sounds simple, but it sometimes takes that much just to be my true authentic self, and really then be able to do what I enjoy and do and pursue that I'm not done, even, you're never done, continue, push forward and go after what you want. You're worth it by all
Yeah.
means.
Yes. All right. I'm going to go to Sharifa. What was your aha when you think back over the program? What was one aha for you?
That's a good question. I think there were one I think Patty kind of touched on, um, was that kind of universal, I don't want to say fear, but that concern that all of us, and it was really kind of, it was a revelation way it kind of came out as far as how we all had those kind of centralized fears where and the thing about it is that we all were in different stages of our careers. We come from different backgrounds. We had people from different age ranges. And so it was just that, so it wasn't just you. And so I think that was one aha moment that I think we all had that week in particular, and you all know which week I'm talking about. And so I think that was one. But then also, because we had so many different people from different backgrounds and different, that we all learned something from one another. I mean, it was always good to talk to people and learn about their backgrounds and what they did for a living, but we all were learning things from each other, and I didn't expect to learn as much as I did. And so that for me was a very pleasant and rewarding aha moment.
Thank you. Thank you. Patty, what was your aha?
Yeah, so I think my aha moment, touching a little bit on what Rosa said, is that being being just your authentic self, like understanding that it really is okay to be yourself and that you don't have to change to try to make it work in whatever job you're doing at the time. That and it's okay that it's your time to let go of stuff that just aren't serving me. And I took that not just in my professional world, but in my personal life also, because there was just a lot going on for me. And I was like, you know what? This isn't serving me. It's just draining my energy. And really, that was my aha, was like, it is okay to let those things go. And you have to be okay with that and coming to that realization that, yes, it is okay. The world isn't going to end. We're in tumultuous times right now, but it's okay to let go of things that aren't going to build yourself up. It's okay to not drain your energy.
Thank you. Thesina, what was your aha or one that you want to share?
My biggest aha was I can do this. And the fact that I have all my sisters as support. If I try to do something and fail, I knew that I had them they had my back. So if I want to try anything, even if it's like a prototype, I have people that I could use to prototype whatever my idea is because of the fact that I have my will sisters, not just 81, but all of the ones prior. I feel that connection solely because of you, Shayla. No offense. Anytime if I feel like, Shayla, can I ask if somebody can help me from another will cohort? I know that I have that connection. So my aha moment is I have professional sisters that I can always call on when I need them. So that makes me more empowered than anything else. That's my one aha moment.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so we're going to go to question and answers, right? And so if you have a question, you can drop it in the chat. I see there might be one or two there. Feel free to either raise your hand, drop it in the chat, come off mute. Don't be scared. No, come off mute and ask the questions. And like I said, if they're related to the program, I want you to address one of our panelists to respond to you. Because they're here to help you understand what you need to know to make an informed choice. Like, I'm big on choices. Nobody's forced to do this. Nobody's, strong arming you and holding, twisting your arm. This is a choice that you're making for you and you alone. You may get a promotion, you may make more money, you're going to gain the skills, but this is really about you, women, ladies, my sisters. This is about you. And we're living in times where, if you don't concern yourself with investing in your growth and development, who else is going to do it? No one, right? And so the fact that our program is built on a cohort model so that you have a community already built into the program and that you can continue once you graduate, not only with your cohort, but with the alums in the other programs and focus in general, that's there. So let's see what questions we have. And Madeline and Aaron, help if I missed something or didn't see something. There's one that says, are there any prerequisites for joining the program? No, that you're interested, right? Let me tell you what I know. And I hope that this is not the case for anyone here as we move forward. And as you tell others about this opportunity, is some women will sit on this for 4 to 5 years. Like, if I were to do an average and ask, like, how many years did you know about this program before you actually said, I'm going to apply, right? So many women don't think this is for them, or I'm not ready. I didn't check all the boxes. There's no box to check, sis. Right? It is you determining, I'm ready to invest in me and it's my time.
Mhm.
And so if that's you, then this is for you, right? And so, yes, you're going to have to apply and you're going to have to respond to some questions. Yes, it's my time. I didn't start today with that. We start every session with it's my time. It is our mantra, right? And so that centers us in this program, in this work that we're doing, our professional growth and leadership. We say it's our time. So there's no prerequisite. If you're ready, then you're ready. Now, when you do apply, what's unique about this program, when you apply, you are automatically in the selection candidate pool, right? It's not like I apply and then you'll find out if you're going to go through selection. When you apply, you're automatically in the pool, and then we set you up on the selection day, which I believe is December the 6th this year, and you are interviewed by other women who have gone through this program. And then there's a couple of women who go through, who are also from our leadership St. Louis, but they're all women who have gone through primarily women in leadership, but other focus programs. But you're going to be interviewed by women who have done this. So, and really the interview is about getting to know you and asking you questions about your leadership, your goals, what is your career aspirations, different things that help them just to get to know who you are. And then all of our our pool of selection committee, they're the ones who recommend who is offered the invitation, right? So it is graduates of the program that lead the selection conversations and make recommendations to me, who should we invite to the program? So that, I don't know if that probably wasn't asked, but I was giving you that information because sometimes people are like, well, how do you do this? What happens, right? All right, so why Will over other cohorts? Great question.
Can I answer that question, Shayla?
Yes. Yes.
Sorry, I don't want to butt in front of everybody, but nowadays there are so many women that tear each other down, and you need a group of women that are going to help support you and build you up. And that is why I think Will is the great. The other emerging leaders, I have not been a part of that, just from my Will experience. There are just so many women that want to tear you down and try to go behind your back and just be sneaky. But this group of women is just an amazing group of women, and they're here to support you and stand you up whenever you feel like you can't stand. You can lean on them. That's why I would choose Will. Sorry.
So let me tell you the quick difference between the programs. So Emerging Leaders is geared for the young professional early in their career, right? It is a co-ed program, and the cadence of how they meet is a little bit different, but the length of the program, that part is the same. So we offer a spring and a fall cohort, about 3.5 to 4 months, Will and Emerging Leaders, but Emerging Leaders is geared toward that early career professional, or maybe someone returning to the community who's kind of new in a role and kind of looking to get, understanding of the community and some of the issues. The Emerging Leader program, also something that they do is they're partnered with a local nonprofit, and they're working on a project during their program has significant meaning to the community and to that organization. And so they're kind of like broken into smaller teams, and they're like a consultant team to that organization. And that was added to that program by request by Emerging Leaders. Now, I'm not going to call somebody out unless she wants to say hello herself, but there is at least one Emerging Leader that I'm looking at on the screen that I'm not going to say unless they want to say, but they have been through the experience. And so what Focus is known for is leadership, the experiential aspect, and really challenging you to lean in, not only to develop yourself as a leader, but as a leader who is a catalyst for change in the region. So you can't go wrong with a Focus program, but if you're like weighing in the balance, what's the difference? You heard from Patty. Women need to be around other women to be able to lift each other up, to have the hard conversations, to talk about the elephant in the room that women are specifically dealing with in these times in which we live. That might be, if that's what you're looking for, that's what this program is for. If you're like, I want the co-ed experience and I want to, be able to, build my network in a different kind of way, then maybe one of our other programs might be a better fit for you. And, I'm happy to talk to you about it. Erin's here, Madeline's here. If you're like, hey, drop something in the chat, follow up with me. We're happy to have a quick one-on-one, because I want, again, you to make an informed decision about what is the best fit for you based on the season of life, based on your career goals, based on what's important to you right now. And I don't like to sell people something. This is not a sell type thing. This work is my heart work. This is the work I know I was born to do. And so I want you to know that this is what you want for yourself, and that you're inviting me and entrusting me to be your guide to walk you through this journey. And if that's not this, that's okay, because we've got other programs that are stellar and are, top tier and could also fit your need. But let us tell you about it so that you can make an informed decision. Okay. All right.
Is it okay if I jump in?
Absolutely. Look, like I kind of put the spotlight on you, but it's like, I'm not going to call your name because I don't call people out. I call them in, and that's a choice too. So hi, sis. How you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. It's so good to see you, beautiful. I'm just excited to be here, but my name is Tashana Stansel. I'm the director of the WashU College Prep Program, and I am an Emerging Leaders alum. And yes, I'm happy to be on this call. What I would say as an alum being a part of the Emerging Leaders Program is that when I participated in the program, it was several years ago, but I was still early on in my career as a leader, leading a department, leading a team. And I had just returned to St. Louis after being gone for over a decade. So I was truly looking for community, and it didn't matter if it was co-ed or not. I was just looking for a place and space to be a part of. And so learned about Emerging Leaders. I loved what we did. Again, cohort style. I love the capstone activity that we did. We partnered with Epworth Family and Children Services. So we helped them create a workforce development program. So I had a wide variety of individuals that helped us with that project. But now being in this role at WashU, I've definitely been in leadership for a while now. So I'm looking for something different. I've learned that my passion now is learning more about myself and what leadership is, what type of a leader am I? How can I be a better leader? I hear you ladies talking about sisterhood, and that's what I'm looking for. So that's why I'm interested in this particular program. And I hope that helps. I know I didn't share a lot, but I hope that helps distinguish just a little bit between the two.
All right. Aaron and Madeline, can you help me? For whatever reason, now I can't see the rest of my chat and I can't see the other questions. So while you're looking to kind of help me make sure I filled the questions, is there anybody who has a question that wants to unmute themselves and just come on and ask us what you're interested in knowing? And if it's something that one of our guests can respond to, direct it to them, or if it's something about logistics, administrative, that kind of thing, I'm happy to respond to you with it, but feel free to unmute and ask your question.
I'll unmute.
Okay, hi.
Hi, thank you so much. This is really helpful. I was just wondering in the past, what are the best arguments for getting your employer on board, especially for financial support?
Yes. So we have some talking points that we can email you out, but what we typically say is, one, ask about, does your company support your professional development and growth, and at what level, right? Because there is a tuition. Are they able to support it all? We give you some of our most recent data. It's also on our webpage. We kind of have like an impact report that talks about, hey, those that have gone through this program, this is what they experience. So you have some quotes and you have some of the, the statistics, right? The data, but we write it all up. So we can we like help you do draft emails. We have some talking points. And if you're like, I still have questions, then we'll work with you, right? So if you're like, hey, I need more, but we try to give you the talking points that you'll need to customize within the context of your workplace and environment, or the leader that you need to, advocate and use your agency with. We give you something to work from, and then you kind of add those points that you're going to need to. But it's about the network, it's about the community, it's about the variety and the diverse lived experiences and perspectives of the people in the cohort. And then it is about the skill sets that you're able to enhance or level up, right? And then tapping into the alumni network of Focus. I'll tell you what, and the guests, the women can attest, and our emerging leader grad as well. When you walk into the room and you say that you are a Focus alum, no matter if it's a Focus event or somewhere else, you walk in the room, people, it's an automatic conversation starter. You don't have to go through the small talk, because people are like, oh, tell me about your LSL, your will, your emerging leaders experience. Oh, I did Focus too. And then the next thing you know, you have this thing in common that already you can just start talking to people about. And the women in leadership, I'll give away a little something. At the end of the program, we present them, yes, with the lapel pin from Focus, but there's a butterfly pin. I didn't wear one today. It's actually on my desk. But when we go to places, the women in will wear their butterfly pins, and then they just look, they scan the room and they're like, where's the woman with the butterfly? And even if someone's like, I wear butterflies because I love it, it starts up a conversation, but their first question is going to be, I'm a will woman too. Which cohort were you in? Which year did you graduate? What are you doing now? Like, it's an instant conversation starter. And sometimes that's the change. You just need that introduction. It is about relationships. And I don't know. So Dr. Carver, if I'll send, we'll make sure we get it to you, but we might tag it on the, like, thank you for participating. We might tag it onto that so that everyone has access. And then if you still have questions, I'm happy to like one-on-one walk you through what's the strategy to, get my support that I need from my employer to either cover full tuition, because yes, they have, and they do, or partial tuition. What does that look like?
Thank you
Right?
so much.
You're welcome. All right, Madeline and Aaron, were there other questions that I missed in the chat? I think I hit the wrong button and then I can't get it.
We have a couple of logistical questions.
Yeah, unmute yourself. Yeah.
No, because
Oh,
it'll mess up the sound.
I'm going to. Okay. It's not going to work.
Can you hear me okay from here? I've read it, but I figured it would work. But we do have a few logistical questions. So one person was saying that they want to get a deeper understanding of the format, structure, and content of the program. If you can expand on that a little bit, and then along those lines, like, what are the hours and length of each program day, and there? Is there any time commitment outside of the sessions themselves?
Good question. So I'll take a stab, and then any of our guests, if you want to jump in, but it is 3.5 to 4 month commitment. We meet twice a month, typically the second Saturday of the month and then the fourth Thursday, but based on the spring calendar and any particular holidays. For example, the second Saturday in February is Valentine's Day. I'm not going to make you come sit in a session with me. I'm going to let you love on your loved ones, and then we're going to meet on Friday. The sessions are basically 9 to 4 with a 1 hour break, a 1 hour lunch, and then 2 small breaks in between. And then, like I said, the content is like, I have this framework, and I tell everybody this, and I know they think I'm funny, but I'm like, this is not a cookie cutter program. I have a framework that I work in, right? And as I get to know the cohort and I start seeing patterns and themes emerge that the cohort needs, I begin to adjust what I bring as content to the cohort to meet them where they are. I'm not trying to say, come here. I'm saying, where are you at? Let me bring you to where I'm trying to take you. Right. And so some of the things we talk about, one of my favorite sessions for them is called She Levels Up. We talk about optimizing your genius, which is resume, like what are all the professional skills and supports that you bring to the table and what opportunity are you seeking next? We talk about negotiation skills. So myself and a recent, she's not a recent graduate, my first cohort was Will 73. There's a woman in there who is the negotiation whisperer. I decided to partner with her to bring her back so that she can run negotiation skills and like what's your worth in the marketplace with me. So we've teamed up. And then at the end of that, this year I have about 10 Will graduates who are serving as negotiation coaches. And what do? They take smaller groups. You get to select 2 different rounds with whoever you want to be with. And they're from different sectors, right? Nonprofit, corporate, philanthropy, like whatever. Like if they have a job that's like yours or in the similar field, you can take time with that woman, that coach, and talk to her about negotiation. What did you do? What was your path? What are the lessons learned, right? It is almost like a mini coaching session with some folks that have done negotiation successfully. And some y'all have made like $50,000 to $100,000 more. That's not the guarantee. But I mean, when you ask for what you want and what you're worth in the marketplace and use the skills and techniques that we teach you, and you have that support, you begin to ask for what you're worth. And that matters. So negotiation skills, facilitation skills, having hard conversations, listening, feedback, working in a multi-generational workplace. Those are some of the things that we talk about. But again, I'm also basing content that I develop and create on what you need, right? The other thing that I get really excited about, and we're getting ready to do it with our current cohort on this Saturday, is I do a session called She Leads Well. It's all about self-care and wellness and well-being. And as leaders, the higher you go, the more you need to make sure that you're taking care of yourself as a leader so that your cup doesn't go empty and that you're leading from the overflow, that you're leading from your brilliance and not your brokenness. And so we have those real conversations, right? And I'll tell you this, not to scare you away, but we do have tears, right?
Lots.
Y'all, like, they're like, bring your box of Kleenex almost every time. Not because I'm trying to make anyone cry, but when you are in a brave space where you can be yourself and you can lean into the tough conversations, sometimes tears are released. Sometimes tears of joy, sometimes tears of just releasing the pain. But it's important that we get real. And I don't sugarcoat, I don't try to sidestep hard conversations. I create a space where we can have the conversations and look each other in the eye and share what's going on with us personally, professionally, right? And that's not always easy. And you also don't like, is this real? I'm like, it's the realest that it gets because I am creating that space and I am committed to not doing harm or allowing people to exact harm on others because you are a leader. That's not acceptable. It's not okay. So in this space, you're able to take off the mask and let your hair down. It makes it different. when you're able to do that.
100%.
Yeah. What are other questions? What else did I miss? I hope that answered. If not, put it back in the chat, because maybe I kind of went, I kind of went on my own way, because I want you to understand, again, what are you getting into? What am I signing up for? What can I expect? And if this doesn't sound like this is what you want, that's okay. I'll help you find where you need to be. Okay.
I have a question.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Manal.
Nice to meet you, Manal.
Thank you. This is fantastic, by the way. I've heard of Focus St. Louis for a little bit, and I had no idea that it was at this level, and you all operate in this very much needed holistic manner. And I'm excited to actually even know that this is in existence. I'm not even a part of it yet, but I'm glad to know that this is here for young professionals like myself who are coming up in this business and not necessarily having the mentorship, but knowing that I need the mentorship, right? And having healthy examples around me who actually want to pour into me and not take from me or stifle me. And so this sounds wonderful. My question
Yes.
is there an opportunity to be enrolled in both programs at the same time or consecutively? How does that look if that is a possibility?
So it is possible, but what I would suggest, I don't know if I've ever had anyone enrolled at the same time, but we definitely have people gone through emerging leaders and come into Will, or come, go from Will into the Leadership St. Louis program, or people that have been in Leadership St. Louis have said, maybe I want to come back and just do a cohort that's just for women. We've had young people who are in our high school program that have come into emerging leaders and then have considered other programs in our portfolio. So the reason why I would suggest one at a time is just so that you can be fully present. Thesina has her hand up, so I'll stop talking, but be fully present. No, come on, Thesina, I want to hear what you
Oh,
want to.
no, I was actually moving my arm.
Oh, okay. I was like, you got something to say, and I want to be quiet and pass you the mic. So that would be my suggestion to you. Do it one at a time. There's a couple of emerging leaders who went through emerging leaders with me, and then the next spring, I had received a promotion and then became the Will director, and they're like, oh my gosh, I get to come back to you. And we had fun. It was just a different kind of experience, because we're also mindful that if you come through consecutive programs at Focus, we want you to get something unique in each program, and each director brings something unique to the table. There's some frameworks that we all say, like, we want you to be, comfortable with getting uncomfortable. And we really all use a reflective kind of process to process the lessons from the experience that we've created for you, so that you can extract the wisdom from it. Other than that, each director kind of brings their own flair, their own insight, their own lived experience to help them think about what are going to meet the needs of the individuals in the program. So you can't go wrong with anything that we're offering, because they're all top notch. And I also can say that because I've been in between all the programs. So I've seen them all on the inside. Hey, Betty, I see your hand up. We got like 2 or 3 more minutes, because I know folks are going to have to go. What is your question? Welcome.
Thank you. I don't know that I have a question, but more so I just want to say that I think this is really awesome. My daughter actually participated in the Youth Leadership Focus, and she just graduated, and it was a great experience for her as well as myself.
Good.
And just a couple of things that you said that I think really resonated with me as a female in leadership, about like the emotion, operating out of your emotions, because it is challenging, right? And so as one of the other ladies stated, to just have that sisterhood and just a safe space for you to be able to ask those questions that, for me, sometimes I feel like I should already know, but not sure, and just to be able to talk. And then the other thing that you said that really, I guess, reeled me in, when you said that even if this isn't for you, that you will help find what's for you. And I really appreciate that. So yeah, I'm just looking forward to it.
Awesome. Well, thanks for the question and the comments. And I'm glad that you had an experience with your your daughter, I think you said.
Yes.
Because right now I'm like thinking of all the names. You can imagine if we have like 80 students in the youth program, I've got 70 that go through the cohort, and then I'm exposed to the other cohorts. There's like 300 people that I'm trying to remember. So now, Betty, I'm going to have to look you up and like shout you out a little later and connect with you.
Okay. Her name was Kennedy Stewart. So
Oh,
she's a leader.
yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
So, and here's the other thing. I told y'all earlier, we go by first name. So I don't know any of the students by their last
Okay.
names. I know them by
Yes.
their face and their first name. Yes, I know
Okay.
Kennedy. All right.
Okay.
I say hello.
Will do. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, we are at 101. I don't know if there was any questions we didn't get to, but I just want to say so I can wrap up. And if someone's like, I really need to leave, I want you to leave on time. Thank you for coming today. Thank you for spending time with us. We will send the recording back out to you. I will ask when we send the recording that we send the talking points. I need to go now, make sure they're updated. I'll send the talking points. And there was a couple people that I'm going to do a one-on-one follow-up with just to see if there's any more questions that I can answer for you or share with you other offerings that focus. If you're like, I'm not sure this is the one, I want to help you find the one either in-house with us or I can make a recommendation somewhere else. Thank you for your time. Thank you for investing in you. And please look up these phenomenal women on LinkedIn and connect with them, connect with me, connect and follow Focus. We'd love to have you join us at an upcoming event or forum so that you can learn more about our organization and the type of things that we're talking about in community and gathering and convening others together. So again, thank you. Thank you, Thasina. Thank you, Patty. Thank you, Sharifa. Thank you, Rose. I appreciate you coming back and sharing your experience.
It was great seeing
Big
everybody.
hugs to you. Bye, everyone. Have a
Thank you
good
guys.
week.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.